What's up, YouTube? I saw an interesting article, and I will be posting a video soon. Sometimes it's just easier for me to get out these little audio podcasts. But I saw an interesting article, and it said how Israel basically fears that the ICC, I think it's called the ICC, is going to issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu and, some other government officials in Israel. Now, if you don't know, Netanyahu is the Prime Minister of Israel. How the government works over there is basically, sometimes the Prime Minister has more power in the government than maybe someone who's called the President in those type of countries. In America, we know the President is one of the highest authorities, even though our government doesn't quite work like the president has all authority either. But anyway, that's just wanted to give you some information about that. But so it's kind of interesting that they would be going as far as issuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. And I just want to read the actual article here. I won't read the whole article, but I mean just the title. So, Israel fears ICC is close to issuing arrest warrants for Netanyahu and other top officials. And then it just says how, another little article says Netanyahu and Biden are going to meet because tensions are rising. So, is it possible that one of the ways that this whole two-state solution, we don't know if the two-state solution is the Antichrist, deal that, ushers in the tribulation, the Great Tribulation, or the second half of the tribulation. But I just found it interesting that, they would try to, arrest Netanyahu and his top officials for, apparent, some sort of war crime or something. And I think it's just an article that is blowing smoke. But, that's not too crazy to think about, in regards to how some people treat Israelis, Jews, and of course Christians too, is that, sometimes they break the rules in order to, get their desire fulfilled. And so, what I'm trying to say is that, is this two-state solution, one, linked to the Antichrist covenant, but also it's interesting that, they can issue arrest warrants. I think this just goes to show that, some of the times in Revelation, I think, that are going to happen, it could be because Israel is forced to do it, or, I guess a lot of pressure is on them in some way, shape, or form to, comply with, some of the demands of, what would be the Antichrist at some point. Now, I don't know how close we are to the revelation of the Antichrist, coming under power. I know I can definitely see that world tensions are growing more as far as the possibility of World War III breaking out. I think World War is prophesied in the first or second seal that's in Revelation chapter 6. So I think definitely, there's also in Revelation chapter 6, people start killing one another. And I think for sure, you have to kind of lead up to that. You can't just all of a sudden people start killing each other. I think, it's because tensions are sort of rising, and we know Jesus holds all things together. But when Jesus lifts his hand, it goes to show that, people, do what is really, on their heart to do. And I think that, we definitely see the world stage, sort of being set for these things. Now, can it be relaxed and be set again? Yeah, I think so. But, I know that Jesus said he's coming soon. And so I wouldn't really put another 1,000, 2,000 years, on God's timetable until we reach, the end times or something. And I just don't think it's smart for us to think, end times are not now. We probably have 100 years, 200 years, up to another millennium until we get to, another end time event. It's just, Jesus said, when you begin to see some of these signs, lift up your head, because he's saying that your redemption draws near. Even though we don't know the day or the hour, he still made the statement, though, that we can see the signs and start to basically get excited that we're going to be raptured to heaven soon. And so we know that, there's anti-Semitism happening, throughout the world. And so is this war in Gaza, a trigger for something bigger? Maybe so, but I know also, there has to come a time where people are saying peace and safety, and sudden destruction comes on them. And so, I feel like that verse is very literal, that, before the tribulation starts, we're going to have a society and a world where, now there's all of a sudden, now we have peace and safety. And maybe that is the covenant that, is done in Revelation, where, what Daniel's talking about is that, the Antichrist makes a covenant with Israel, and then everyone is saying, okay, now there's peace and safety, no more tensions in the Middle East, or whatever the deal kind of includes. But, I don't know. I think sometimes end times can get, we have to review the whole timeline sometimes when talking about the end times, so it doesn't get, so hectic when talking about individual events and picking one thing out. And so I kind of want to do either podcast or a video going over, some of the major events of the end times, and go from there. So anyway, thanks so much for checking this out. I just thought it was an interesting article about how, this ICC, which I believe is the international court for, keeping the peace between nations. It's like an international, government type of thing that, enforces some of the rules that go into things like when a war happens and are there war crimes being committed. Now, obviously, I don't know, we talk about different things going on in the world, and, if there ever was a time for the ICC to step in, it was way back in October 7th, when all those people attacked Israel. And so, we know things are sort of flip-flopped in this world because, people are sort of, going against Israel, and, they're completely ignoring October 7th. Many people even deny that it even happened. And, it just goes to show how far people are willing to go in order to resist God and his people. And so, that's one thing that, I wanted to mention. So, thanks so much, and I will talk to you on the next one. See ya.